How's everybody doing today? This is Ricardo Walker here, and on this video, we're going to be talking about our last wide receiver of our draft series, and then we only have two more positions left, tight end and running back. So the wide receiver we're going to be talking about today is Luther Burden from Missouri. And in 2024, he had 86 receptions, 1,212 receiving yards, and 9 TDs. Pretty good numbers. This is a 6', 205-pound receiver who was a two-time first-team All-SEC. He was voted a first-team All-American and was a Blinkenkoff Award semifinalist in 2022. I really think he's the reason Missouri won so many games. He's their superstar player, and he's that guy for them. If it wasn't for him, I don't think Missouri would have had the record they had over the seasons that Luther Burden was playing. Let's be realistic, because Luther Burden was the guy that was making the spectacular plays for them, and you just can't coach a guy like that. That's just all natural to him. So now I'm going to be talking about his strengths, weaknesses, his NFL comparisons, and his best plays in college. Starting off with his strengths, first and foremost, he's an explosive playmaker. This is the best aspect of his game. This just adds another dimension to football. We love guys that could break big plays and just explode for a 70-yard touchdown without even having to break a sweat. This guy is so elusive in open field. If it's a one-on-one with him and the defender, he's gonna break the defender's ankles and go right by them. So he's very hard to tackle, and he reminds me of Steve Smith back in the day, a wide receiver with a running back's body, and that's why he's just such a different player when it comes to this draft. This is why Luther Burden was drafted at a good spot in the draft. We'll talk about that later. And that's why a specific NFL team drafted him, because of his special ability to break plays after the catch. And then the second thing about him is he has great versatility and he dominates on run after the catch. His versatility is just amazing. He's good in jet sweeps, wide receiver screens, deep routes, slants, you name it. He can do it all. And then, like I said, his run after catch ability is just one of a kind. It's really unique to him, and that's why he's just so special as a prospect. But now let's talk about his weaknesses on the field and the things he needs to improve on. So the weaknesses that he really has is just a couple of things. First and foremost, his route running needs to be polished. We said this about Travis Hunter. These are two of the wide receiver prospects that I think need to fix their route running, because they have two traits about them that are just unique to them and can help them kind of just get rid of the route running and still make a play. Like Travis Hunter, it was his athleticism, but Luther Burden, it's just his ability, change of direction, elusiveness, and just his body in general. So I think if Luther Burden can get better at using his feet and body to manipulate the defender and just get better at his route running, make it smoother and cleaner, he could definitely take his game to the next level, and it will just elevate him as a player going to the NFL. It's hard to get open just off of your talent and your speed and athleticism and just natural born God given talent you have. You have to get better at route running. And then the second thing for Luther Burden is he needs to get more separations off his route. Like his separation is kind of lacking in that aspect of his game. You could see that he often has to make contested catches, and he does do that well. But in the NFL, the defenders are way more skilled. They're way more advanced than you. And coming in as a rookie, you're going to have to get more separation off your routes to make it easier for yourself. Because it's going to be hard making those contested catches in the NFL like you did in college. Those are the two main things I really see that Luther Burden needs to improve on. But besides that, he's just a very exciting prospect. And now let's get into his best plays at Missouri. So on this first play, you're just going to see Luther Burden run a fade, and he's one-on-one with the defender. He runs that fade route and he's just gonna make a beautiful contested catch, one-handed, and he's actually gonna just break the defender's tackle and score the touchdown. That's just that's a basic play, but an exciting one. You just see the contested catch ability and the focus, the ball skills by Luther Burden. That's all I can really say there. Fantastic play from Burden. And then on the second play, Luther Burden is just going to run a jet sweep in this offense. He's going to come around, get the ball handed off to him, and he's just going to turn this simple wide receiver run play into a touchdown. This is where the run after catch ability comes in, and even though it's not after the catch, it's still a great play because you see how right after he gets the ball handed off to him, he just goes and makes a play for like a good 60, 50-yard touchdown, and that's just the elusiveness, the explosiveness, and the playmaking ability from Luther Burden. He's so hard to tackle. You just see how he follows his blockers. He reads the defense well and just slides through every tackler to make that touchdown. That's just a phenomenal play from Luther Burden, and he's just so exciting to watch when he gets utilized in so many different ways. Then on this final play, Luther Burden, he's just gonna turn what should have been a 5-yard gain into a 20-yard gain. He runs this little curl route, very short, like 3 yards. He catches it. It's gonna run right in between all the tackles, and you just see the ball skills. You see how he's kind of like a Barry Sanders when it comes to holding the ball as a wide receiver. He's so elusive, he's so sticky with his movements, his change of direction, and he's just so hard to tackle. That's what Steve Smith was when he played, and Luther Burden's just a reincarnation of Steve Smith. So hard to tackle, he makes a 5-yard gain into a big play, and that's just the boost he gave Missouri when he was on the field. When he was on the field, he made those explosive plays, and that's why Luther Burden is just such a highly touted prospect in this year's draft. So we saw the tape. He's just so unique. He's so different, and he's just an offensive weapon. And in the NFL, I can see his comparisons being Wandale Robinson and Rashee Rice. And those are the two players I really see him being alike to when it comes to a pro level because Rashee Rice and Wandale Robinson excel at run after the catch. When they catch the ball, they just break tackles and go. And then they both have the ability to make explosive plays when the ball's in their hands. And then the unique thing about Rashee Rice is he has good hands. I think Wandale Robinson needs to improve at his catching ability, but Rashee Rice is a good hands. He's a good playmaker. And then the thing about Wandale Robinson is that in the slot, he's just so elusive. Nice change of direction, nice speed and acceleration, which is why I can see the comparison of Luther Burden. And those two players are just the perfect comparisons for Burden. And that's who I think Burden is going to be playing alike as in the NFL. And now I just want to talk about who Luther Burden got drafted to and how he'll fit in the offense. So Luther Burden was drafted 89th overall to the Chicago Bears in this year's draft. And the Bears, they just took him because they needed another weapon for Caleb Williams. Because let's be realistic, the Bears offense struggled last season. And let's not blame that off of the weapons. I blame that off of the offensive line. And the Bears didn't seem to really address that issue in this draft. They said we're just gonna get receivers and playmakers, so they got a guy like Burden to help Caleb Williams out. And now he's on the Bears. I just see him being very useful in this offense. You know, the Bears just got Ben Johnson as their new offensive coordinator, and he's just gonna fit so well. Luther Burden is gonna fit so well in Ben Johnson's offense because we all know how Ben Johnson did things in Detroit, and now coming to the Bears offense, I think he could just actually do more things with this offense because it's more versatile. You have Luther Burden, you have Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, previous #1 pick, and then you got a guy like DeAndre Swift, who I can kind of see playing the Jahmyr Gibbs role in this 2025 Bears offense. But back to Burden, I think Burden is really going to excel in this offense, and that's only because he has Ben Johnson to help guide him there. I really think if this was any other prospect that didn't have Ben Johnson as their offensive coordinator, I wouldn't even be high on them. I would say they're a bust. But Burden's different because he has Ben Johnson, and it's gonna fit so well. They're gonna mesh very well together. And Ben Johnson likes to get tricky. He likes to find the unique things about his players and use them to their best ability, like Jameson Williams. This was an explosive wide receiver who broke out last season because Ben Johnson, well, first off, he was healthy because he wasn't healthy the year before that. But Ben Johnson saw something in JMO that other offensive coordinators probably wouldn't see. So he used JMO's speed to his advantage and he just used them on wide receiver screens, jet sweeps, like we said in the video earlier, and he just used them on deep balls, which is how I see Ben Johnson using Luther Burden in this future offense this season. So Luther Burden in this Bears offense is gonna go well. I think he's gonna be a very versatile weapon, good addition to the team, and he's looking at being the wide receiver 3 on this roster right now, and I think that's where he's gonna finish the season. But in terms of fantasy, I don't like Burden. There's just too many mouths to feed. They also got Colston Loveland in the draft, and he's really just another weapon for Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams is the guy that's gonna spread the ball, and Burden's not reliable in terms of fantasy football this season. But in real life, like in the actual NFL season, Burden's gonna be very useful for the Chicago Bears, and I think he's going to have to be used in a variety of ways for the Bears to really click on offense and start elevating to what Caleb Williams expected he was coming into. And if Luther Burden starts exploding and starts doing his thing, the Bears offense will just be better as a whole. And I really think Ben Johnson is really going to unlock this Bears offense, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this upcoming season. That's all I have for you guys today. Let me know how y'all feel about the Bears offense and Luther Burden. But man, this kid is special and he's really gonna make some plays in the NFL. Fantasy wise, not a viable option, but in real life, he's gonna do great things. I like him with Ben Johnson, and let us know in the comments what y'all think. But that's all I have for you guys today. And please hit that like and subscribe button, share to friends and family, and peace. I'll be making a video soon, and just see y'all.